Yay, this is part 2 of my thingy. Yeah, it's part 2 of the character fanfiction crap. And you get the joy of watching this. Okay, I was at character. Does the character have a clone or identical twin? At +7. Okay. At only one point, there's a large number of clones in your story because you're an unoriginal hack, and if your character is neither above average or the original in prowess, whatever. Is the character of above intelligence, average intelligence, +1? Are they a genius? +1. Wait, only +1? Well, I would have put it at +3 because not everyone can be a genius. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Is the character related to royalty or nobility? +4. Okay. Is a character rich or well-to-do, even though they'd never work? +1. Okay, this pisses me off. It's +5. No more, no less. Is the character heir to a large fortune? +1. Is sole heir? +1. Try +5 for each, bitch. Is the character the last surviving member of a family, clan, race, species, whatever? Sorry about that. +2. Wait, only +2? Try +8. I've run into that so many times on fanfiction.net, it's not even funny. Was the character the sole survivor of a calamity? You like Genova caused it? Oh, so I'm apparently an ancient now. Okay, that makes some sense. Whatever. Was the character ever estranged from their family, tribe, country, whatever? +1. Was the character ever forcibly banished from... Okay, banished and estranged. Is that about the same thing? Let's just say, were you ever hated from where you originally came from because you're either too perfect or whatever, and make it a +5? That makes better sense. There we go. I'm smarter than the person who wrote this, which is depressing. Okay, does the character have amnesia? Okay, +4. That makes sense. Do they still hold a trinket of some sort for their past? +4. Okay. -3 points if they never remember any of this bullshit. Ever! Is the character a minority, a woman, a member of a lower caste who succeeds or makes a contribution to society despite the fact that they are socially disadvantaged? +3. Oh yeah, this is the point where I fucked up on the last thing and I cried. Well, I didn't cry, I nearly did something that involved horrible, horrible things. You don't want to know. Anyway, does the character have an angsty childhood or an angsty past? Oh, there's my mouse. Hi, mouse. Angsty past +1. Do they bitch about it during the story? And angsting doesn't mean talking about, just like telling it as a story. +2. Does the character have angst in the present? +1, where it should be like +3, because so many people angst nowadays. Was your character a bastard or a bitch or illegitimate? +1. Were they ever abducted by aliens? +1. Was the character abandoned by their caregivers? +2. Was the character born into slavery or forced into slavery or prostitution? +1. Which should be like +3, since I've seen that happen quite a bit too. Was the character born or raised being poor as all hell? +1, when it's pretty much +5, because that's done so many times too. Did the character run away from home for more than just a few days? +1. Like I said, whine, whine, bitch, bitch. Did the character ever suffer physical or emotional abuse? +2. Did the character ever suffer sexual abuse? +2. At another point if it was rape, at another point if it was incest. That's fucking creepy. Does the character feel guilty about something terrible in the past? +1. Even despite overwhelming evidence that wasn't their fault. +2. I fucking hate those. Make it +5 altogether. God. Does the character consider their talent or whatever or fucking curse? Hey, look, there's my thingy. Go away. Sorry, I'm not cutting that out. I'm not doing that again. Fuck that. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm a little angry. -2 points if the character is good, but ever worked for a villain because they are an evil, spiteful bastard. Or just because they didn't, they knew about it. Whatever, I don't care. More on the character. Is the character unusually accomplished for their age? +2. Is the character fluent in more than 2 languages? You know what? Screw that. I'm not going to talk about that because it says more than 4 languages. So basically, if your character speaks more than 4 languages, you get +3. Whatever. Does the character travel a lot? +1. Does the character collect things you consider intellectual or cultured? +1. Does the character have a faithful pet or animal familiar? +1. When it should be like +4 or something, because it's done so many times it's not even funny. That isn't a dog, a cat, a horse, or a bird. +3. That makes sense. That does make sense. Is the character educated despite living in a time where education shouldn't exist? +2. Okay, you can ignore that if the character, should know shit that, well, most people wouldn't. Like if they're a scribe, a monk, a priest, or a scholar or something. But still, whatever. Is the character consistently irreverent or radical without repercussions? +1. Try speaking common English, please. Does the character ever easily learn a difficult skill, like learning to play the guitar in a matter of weeks? +3. Does the character have an amazing singing voice? Why the hell does this matter? +1. -3 points if the character lost in any fight, duel, or competition against anyone who is worse or as good as they are. That isn't their rival. Okay, does the character play a musical instrument? Well, +1. Is it guitar? +1. Bass? +1. Violin? +1. Piano? +1. I can't wait until I get to the huge-ass list near the bottom. Does the character use a katana or any other Asian weapon? +1, because make that +5, because that is way too used nowadays, despite being a non-Asian heritage. +3, that also makes sense. Does the character just know things? +5, they know things because they can see into the future. At least that's my theory, or either that or the author is about as smart as a retarded earthworm. That works too. Does the character have an accent relative to their country of residence? Why the fuck does that get a point? That kind of makes sense. If they're German, they should have a German accent. If they're Russian, they should have a Russian accent. Bullcrap like that. Whatever. Does the character have a major quirk or habit in common with you? Okay, that makes sense. +2. Does the character have a physical handicap that doesn't hinder them that much? +6. -4 points. The character significantly physically Wait, that's counterintuitive. If the character's like fucking crippled, and they're horribly crippled, yet it doesn't bother them that much, that means they only gain 2. At least going by my logic. -10 point if the character's about as smart as a sack of hammers, or mentally retarded. Your choice on what they should be called. Do children or animals distinctively like the character? Yeah, +3. Yeah, add 5 if the character's named Michael Jackson. -1 point if the character smokes. -2 points if the character is addicted to crack or whatever. Pretty much anything. -2 points if the character is either has a personality problem, like they're a bitch, or they're judgmental or racist, or they'll burn people at the stake. Minus another point if those flaws continue until they are killed, dead, or the story ends. Minus another point if the flaws get the character in trouble, like if they're addicted to crack, they get arrested and get their asses beat by the LAPD. Crap like that. Which would be very amusing. Okay, does the character have a special birthmark or some other marking, like a scar or something? Wait, where's the one where they say, "Oh, I have a scar," and the person they fall in love with is like, "Oh, you poor, poor creature," and then they fall in love and they have creepy, freaky baby things. Whatever. Does the character have a physical flaw that doesn't detract from their beauty, like their lips are too full, white strip in hair, etc.? -2, and it should be -5 because that's so damn stupid. Does the character have wings? This counts even if they're an angel. Only has wings, sometimes can't fly. +10. I think they're focusing a little too hard on certain areas because they're still using the gargoyle thing. It's -1 point for each of the following. They remain in a committed relationship in the whole story. They have a child or children for the greater part of the story. They don't learn from their mistakes. They have no empathy whatsoever for other people. And they are actually evil, sadistic bastards. I want characters like that. And, well, I should kind of wrap up at the moment because, well, I don't want to deal with me fucking up the entire time. So, yeah. At this moment, Kaisak over and out. Have a nice day, YouTube.